Welcome to another SkaredCast Battle Report. Today, it is a competitive test game for a local league that we are having. Matt, who you have met before, has come over to beat my face in with some GreyKnights. So today, we have two 1750-point battle games, Bay Area Scenario 6, so big guns never tire. Primary relic is secondary. It is Night Fight turn 1, and stay tuned, for it's going to be an absolute blast. The armies in deployment next. Okay, deployment. So we have a unit of just GreyKnights, a Cybolt ammunition Razorback, 5 strikes with 2 Cybolt ammo cannons that have reroll wounds. We have a Dreadnought, Cybolt Dreadnought, Cotiaz, Tech Marine, Grandmaster, 5 more strikes with 2 hammers, Tech Marine with 5 GreyKnights, another Cybolt ammo Razorback, an Aegis Line with an Icarus Las Cannon, and another Cybolt with some henchmen with plasma guns and 2 Crusaders, and a Vindicare Assassin up on the building. Now there's some super explosive stuff on all the 2 Tech Marines and the Grandmaster. They have relays that shoot missiles at me, which is more meant to be an anti-Death Star psycho thing for the perils of the Warp Blast. And I have deployed across like this. The green objectives, of course, big guns never tire. We have 20 Guardians with 2 Bright Lances, Vect, and a Jet Seer, who rolled Guide, Prescience, and has her Puppet Master. A Venom with 5 Warriors and a Blaster with Grizzly Trophies. 4 more Venoms, exactly the same. 2 Ravagers, 3 Lances, and Night Shields. 1 Raider with 3 Racks and a Homunculus with Liquefy Gun, with Tormentor Grenade Launchers, and an Archangel of Despair. Or Crucible of Malediction, sorry. And then we have 2 Scatterlaser Warwalkers hiding behind that building. And in true Dark Eldar fashion, I'm not going to steal the initiative, because it is a competitive objective mission game. And let's begin. Turn 1 recap. The GreyKnights basically shuffled and did nothing, because I had deployed out of range and Night Fight. And then Dark Eldar turn 1, they moved up, firing from 3 Venoms, put 1 wound on the Icarus Las Cannon, 1 Venom put a wound on the Assassin, who was then finished off by the Eldar Warwalkers even though he went to ground, and 2 Ravagers and a Raider were unable to put any damage on this Razorback, while the 2 Lances in Vect's Blob of Doom put 1 hull point and blew the heavy bolter off that Razorback, while the other Venom killed 1 Interceptor in that squad. And now we're moving on to turn 2 of GreyKnight Firepower. Let the rain of fire begin. The GreyKnights opened fire, blasted 3 of the Venoms into oblivion, pinning all 3 squads and forcing 1 squad to flee in terror, killing 4 of the Guardians from this Guardian blob, and other than that, putting 1 hull point on this Ravager with some long-range bombardment fire that was wildly inaccurate. They moved up in a position to threaten with the strikes as well as the Razorbacks and the Dreadnought. So now we're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 2. Let's see what happens. Dark Eldar turn 2. The Eldar force shifted this way. I had the Farseer jump out with a unit of Cablite Warriors, join them to try and Puppet Master the Shrikes that were there. They successfully denied the Witch, even though I thought it was a great plan. The GreyKnights were like, I was able to take out the Icarus Las Cannon with a bead line from that Venom. This Venom killed 3 of the Shrikes. Both these Ravagers focused on the Dreadnought, successfully killing it with a penetrating hit. The Raider moved that way and failed to do anything. And the 2 Scatterlaser Warwalkers wrecked the Razorback that was behind the Aegis. Nothing happened to this Razorback. And the 2 Bright Lances and Vect unit wrecked that Razorback as well. So now we're moving on to Grey Knight, turn 3. We'll see what happens as the game continues. Grey Knight, turn 3. The Grey Knights advanced as much as they could to put pressure on the Dark Eldar army. Firing saw the bombardment kill a lot of different infantry models around, blowing up the raider with the racks in it, forcing them to fall back. The shunting interceptors blew up the Grizzly Trophy's venom, and everything else kind of shot at this venom that survived with 1 hull point left. So now we're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 3. Will return. Dark Eldar turn 3. The Farseer joined the unit of Guardians with Vect, and they kind of moved up and boosted and ran. These guys got back in the venom. Combined shooting from the Ravagers as the battle-focused Warwalkers killed the last Interceptor that was here, the unit of Strikes that was here, and the last Razorback that was there, while on this flank I was only able to kill 1 Interceptor with combined fire of these Cabalite Warriors, and the Homunculus rallied. So now we're moving on to Grey Knight turn 4. Turn 4 review. We had the Grey Knights move up to try and hold their objective. A lot of shooting, saw a couple of models die here and there. In the Dark Eldar turn, moved up the blob, grabbed the relic with the Farseer because he's in a scoring unit. Read your rules, he can do that, it's nasty. And then shot into the Acolytes, killing 3 of their number with the Prescienced Guardian unit, as the Scatter Laser Warwalkers and Ravager finished off the Interceptors, while my other troops maneuver to hop onto objectives on turn 5. So we're moving on to turn 5 of the game. Okay, and that is game. Dark Eldar hold the primary. They were able to clear that objective off and move in to claim Linebreaker, clear that objective off, control this objective. So that's 3 primary objectives plus a Dreadnought for primary Dark Eldar. Secondary is the relic that is being held by the Farseer. That, yes, that is a legal tournament move, because he was part of a scoring unit when he picked it up, but he doesn't have to put it down after he leaves. Secondary, Dark Eldar, and tertiary, I have First Blood for killing the Vindicare Assassin, and I have Linebreaker, and neither of us have Warlord for a Dark Eldar victory. Thanks a lot for watching. This is Skari, your grateful host. Make sure you stay tuned for more battle reports. This list is one that's going to be part of a competitive league that we are doing in the local gaming group, and I will be televising each game on the live feed, so make sure you stay tuned for more Warhammer content. Thanks a lot for tuning in. This is Skari, out. Hello and welcome to another Tactical Corner. So, my 1750 point army is laid in front of you. It has quite a good mix. Make sure you check out the review of the army list I made if you want to check it out in further detail. The game itself was played, we put a lot of line of sight blocking terrain, we made it as mirrored as possible in order to replicate a competitive style event. Now, 2 side-by-side missions was going to prove to be interesting. Matt was playing a very like test sort of army with a bunch of orbital relays. Very inaccurate, very interesting game dynamic. He didn't really have much in terms of shooting other than the Dreadnoughts and the 3 Razorbacks and the last cannon. Of course, Venoms made short work of the Icarus, made short work of the Vindicare Assassin, and getting lucky enough with the Ravagers meant that I was able to take down the key targets that I needed to, namely that Dreadnought and the Cybolt ammunition Razorbacks. The big Vect blob put a lot of pressure in center field, and I kept on moving them with a beeline towards the relic, which meant that I was going to be able to hold that and really solidify the game itself. Matt didn't really have much that could come out other than the interceptors, and pretty much held back the entire game. towards the end of the game, it became clear that focus firing the Eldar were really putting a lot of pressure on the Grey Knight units, and it was just a matter of mopping up by turn 4 and 5 as the Grey Knight forces had been depleted. Overall, good showing for the Dark Eldar. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.